I am here with the Sixth Hammer, who are the development team for the wonderful game being exhibited at E3 this year, Moo Lander. And I can't wait for it to be released. But for everybody who is just meeting this perhaps for the first time, could you guys introduce yourself, tell us who you are in the team, and then maybe a bit about the game. So welcome.
Hello, it's nice to be here. I'm Yasin. This is Ivailo. He is one of our programmers. He has been with our team for like around 3 years, more than 3 years. Yeah? And I'm one of the two co-founders of the company. And back in the days, me and my colleague, which I believe that he may come to the office while we were speaking. We started doing websites, mobile apps, mobile games, desktop games, way back, like when we met at the music school here in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, when we were 8th grade. And we immediately started working together, programming some stuff. In 10th grade, we started doing mobile games. After we graduated school, we started working on the desktop version of Moo Lander, because actually, we're going to talk about our game Moo Lander right now. But back in the days when we started doing games, Moo Lander was our first game, and the idea was to make a game for mobile devices. But
I have seen that. And I'll talk about.
It became too huge for mobile devices, and we just stopped developing it. And after a while, we decided to do basically desktop and console version to showcase all our ideas.
All right, well, that's great. Well, why don't you first of all just tell us what Moo Lander is about? Because I mean, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. I have to say, it's really beautiful. But that obviously makes it stand out and appeals to people. I'm sure you get told that a lot. But also, just the concept of the game is just something very different, and that alone, is a sort of a selling point, because they think, well, what on earth is this? So tell everybody what Moo Lander is about.
Yeah, well, Moo Lander is a 2D game. You can say that it's a platformer, but we don't have any platforms in it since you are flying in spaceship. The main thing in Moo Lander are the cows. You have these epic, strong, mighty, ancient cows that you encounter in the game, and they are like the mini bosses, and you need to defeat them in order to teleport them back to your world to get their milk, because the milk is the most precious and effective resource in the universe. Yeah. And in between these bosses, you have a lot of puzzles and combat with different intelligent enemies. And there are a lot of RPG elements and abilities and skills that you can unlock all the time. And you have Metroidvania elements where you backtrack in the world.
Yeah, there is an awful lot going on in this game. And I played the new demo that you put up on Steam recently. I played yesterday.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. Yeah. This is our co-founder.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how you doing?
Nice meeting you.
By the way, we are doing a video interview, so you can join.
Yeah, you can join in. Yeah, sure. Well, since I've got the two founders there, let me talk about your journey then, because I have seen your ancient Indiegogo funding page.
Is it there?
A long time in the past, yeah.
It is still up there, and it's wonderful. And there's some really early images.
We got only $10 from it, so I don't think that's a wonderful campaign.
No, but it's really interesting because you can see, the cows and the sort of shape of the levels, particularly the first level. The underground level, and you've got those plants with the hands that come down and grab things. They're there in that very early level, but it's just the writing on that page when you first put it up. It says we're 17, and it's not a scam. If you're donating money to the bank accounts, the reason it's not our name is because we're 17 and it's our parents. And I just think it's really wonderful. And that's back in 2014. So. That is a long old journey from there to presenting at E3. I mean, that's great, and I think it's I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about how hard or long that has been, because a lot of people, who would have given up in that time. I mean, that's what, 8 years?
Yeah.
It'd be 9 by the time you release. I mean, how hard is that difficult? How hard's that journey been?
Well, this game has been stuck in our heads for so long that it has been an entire era of our lives dedicated to this game, and we wanted so much to bring it out and make it the way we wanted. Back there, it was a lot, very different operation. It was only the two of us. We didn't have any budget for anything. So we had to do everything ourselves, and basically we got to learn Photoshop and all that different programs and stuff that are needed, and basically try to handle all the different aspects like the arts and
well,
basically
everything.
Yeah.
Sound effects, music, art, level design, programming. We even created something like a game engine to help us do the levels, and everything is handcrafted.
So, Eva, you joined the team 2 years ago, is that right?
I would say about 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah. So, what kind of state was it in when you arrived?
Well, I first remember when I joined, there was basically the main player, the Lander. Only the ship was there, and only part of the assets.
Yeah, basically, and a couple of enemies.
Yeah, a couple of enemies, and I remember there was only like 3 or 4 sketches of the level design for the future game, and we started from there. Basically,
so basically almost from scratch.
I have to ask just about the subject matter of the game. I mean, cows. It's not the first thing that comes into mind. Spaceships, yes, yeah. Shooting things, yeah. But why? I mean, cows. It's just such an odd idea.
Everybody likes cows. Like cows are great.
Yeah, everybody asks us why. We say why not.
I've got my milk ready for me.
Oh, yeah. Great. You're prepared for the interview.
It's in a pint glass as well. So yeah, I will be drinking it. Don't worry. Yeah. So but I mean, I can't decide if you really like cows or if you hate them, because you made a game about them. But they're the bosses.
We need to say that we do not harm any cows in the game. So the cows are very mighty and they fight. They fight you. But actually, you're draining their stamina, and when you do that, you can basically teleport them, and they're continuing to live on your home planet where they just use the cows for milk. So, we are not killing the cows.
No cows died in the production of this game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah, but you do make them. They're kind of the bad guys. They're the boss. They're the boss fights.
Yeah, and actually right now we are expanding the features of the cows, and we had only like 2 or 4 types of cows, and now we have like over 15, I don't know, and they all look different. They all have different abilities. The special powers. They're using the environment in order to kill you. So they are going to be pretty diverse. And there are very interesting story plot twists that explain at certain points in the game why cows have became these mighty beasts that you find in Moo Lander, and not the calm creatures that you find in the real world.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm really interested when you say that sort of the story and the character, because you get a real feel for that. And when I'm playing the demo, you really fooled me, because it starts off and it's beautiful, and you're going sort of down these tunnels underground, and it reminded me of the sort of underwater level at Gris. I don't know if you've seen that game or played that.
No.
It looks very similar to that, and that was a highly successful, also very beautiful artistic game. And I thought, it looks like this, and then all of a sudden, you've got the normal sort of development of powers, dash and shield or whatever, and getting past moving objects and balances and blowing up rocks and things and opening doors, and you think, great, okay, yes, this is a platformer, just like they say that no platforms, but we're moving around a bit like that.
Yep, that worked. I knew it. Did you see, Hamilton? It's all about balance.
And then you start introducing speech choices. And I was a bit thrown by that. Is this just for character development, or is it something that's going to make a difference to the way I play it? And I wasn't sure. And then you introduce these sort of RPG elements with lots of. I was presented at one point with lots of different choices for weapons. I could be offensive or I could be defensive, and it was really, really interesting. And I'm really, really keen to see how that affects the whole game. And I don't know how much you can share about the impact of the sort of speech choices and those sort of RPG skill trees and things.
Well, what we can tell is that the story is very important for us. We wanted to make a game with a rich story, although it is in this fun environment where you fight cows, but the story is very epic, and it has plot twist, it has bad guys, and they're all very charismatic and have really they're memorable characters, basically.
They are definitely memorable characters. Like not the ship's computer, but the captain.
The captain is one of them, but there are others as well. There are evil ones. There are ones that there is betrayal and stuff like that. But
you can expect a lot of plot twists, a lot of conversations, and in the conversations, some of the choices will change a bit the game. It is not changing the entire story or the entire game. But most of the time you can use these choices to get to know the environment better, your character. So if you want to know more about the game, you can use these choices
and the ship's computer gives you a lot of sort of audio clues as to how to tackle things and as well. I mean, it was great, and I just I'll get to the end of the demo, although I'm having trouble beating that first cow, I'll be honest with you. And you get to the end of the demo, and I'm thinking, is this a platformer or is it a shooter? And then I'm wondering about these skill trees and this conversation. And I just think you've rolled everything incredibly successfully into one bucket there. And it's not very easy to pigeonhole. You guys call it a platformer, but it's much more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, we think that it is, yeah. And we have all these things, but everything comes, we created everything piece by piece. Like we first, we did the combat, we presented the combat with the different enemies to some events to get feedback from the people. We got the combat right. Meanwhile, we were developing the story, we wrote the conversations, we did a few iterations of that, then we recorded them. Then we added these RPG elements and in this big skill tree. Then we advanced the cows. So we are putting all these stuff very carefully, piece by piece, so we can make this.
Yeah, I mean, I can only begin to imagine how difficult it is to sort of see how much shooting and how much skill tree and decision, how much do we put in before you overwhelm the sort of basic premise of the game.
You're not going to be overwhelmed because the campaign is going to be like around 6 or 7 or even maybe 8 hours, we will see. But definitely at least 6 hours of gameplay, and we are not going to give you all these abilities at the same time, and so you can get overwhelmed. But you can unlock them one by one, and you can choose which ones to unlock. You are not going to be able to unlock all of them if you use all of them.
I mean, so you've got replayability covered there because people can.
And you can decide how to build your arsenal if you want to use the shield and the sword or the machine gun or the lasers. You have a lot of different abilities.
I have to say these are all sort of milk lasers and milk shields and milk guns. Everything is milk.
All of your lethal attacks are milk based. They
offer a lot of different choices. Some guys will want to do a close combat and they will upgrade the sword and the shield and stuff like that. The others will want more long range combat. Others will want to be more tactical and will invest in other abilities.
So I mean, there's opportunity here for not just replayability, but for people to take different approaches to reaching things.
Very different play styles.
And you can do this with basically every encounter because with one approach is going to be great for one enemy encounter, but for other enemy encounter, the same approach won't work that well. So you have to adapt and change your abilities that you're using.
Okay. All cows are not the same.
No. We worked extremely long on the cow AI, and
I saw in your montage video some sort of golden cow in a sort of hell environment. Is that, have I got that right?
We have all sorts of cows, and what you actually fight in the demo, we call that the vanilla cow. This is the base cow that you fight, but basically each cow has a very strong personality, and we take days, even weeks, to craft some of the arenas where you fight these creatures.
I still can't quite believe we're talking about loving cows so much, but I do. It's just a bit odd. It's a bit strange.
You have a lot of optional paths actually, and a lot of the cows will not be on the main path. You can progress and finish the game without beating them at all. But if you want to explore, you can go into different areas and uncover secrets and different cows and other stuff that we have hidden there as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
For experienced players.
That's great. There's going to be lots to do and lots of different ways to do it. That sounds awesome. Yeah. And on top of that, and I do like this gag, I'm going to steal it. I know it's yours. I'm going to steal it. On top of this, you have multiplayer.
Well, this is a pretty big part of our game, actually.
Yeah.
Because we really enjoy the old school local couch multiplayer where you can just sit, grab a joystick with your friends and start playing. And we wanted to have that. Also, there are not, you know that there are not a lot of games that offer local couch multiplayer where you can play with your friends or your family. So we wanted to have this big multiplayer, and there are going to be a lot of modes. Right now in the demo, you have battles between cows and ships, and you have basically the PvP mode where one of the player or two of the players, it's up to 4 players. They are playing with cows against the ship, the landers, and the other mode is PvE, where you team up with your friends with the landers and you fight the AI cow. These are the 2 modes that we have in the demo, but we are going to have more modes, like you are going to chase the cow to survive waves of enemies. We even want to put football in the game where the cow is the goalkeeper and you toss around one enemy. You know this, the hedgehog enemy, the purple one, which is basically like a circle. You're going to use this as a ball, and we're going to do fun football in the game.
Basically, we have ideas for a lot of different multiplayer modes, but we are not sure which one will get to be in the final game, because we need to do a lot of testing and validating with people in order to see which ones are the true ones. Yeah.
By the way, you can also use Steam Remote Play to use the game to play online. You don't have to
I saw that. I mean, that option pops up when you load it on Steam straight away. And I often with games that are released, that the multiplayer is something that they promise will come afterwards. But it's really, it seems great that you're trying to offer this from the day of release, and that it seems so far ahead. So that, I mean, that's a great achievement. But we're not going to expect it till next spring. You're going to make us wait.
Well, we want to do a simultaneous release for all the platforms. So we want to do a PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch release at the same time. So
the Nintendo Switch is the most difficult one to get right and to hit that target FPS.
We will have to do some optimizations there.
We feel very good about the game, and all the team here is very excited to work. And I cannot explain how excited we are.
It's definitely like a big step for us. It's like a dream come true.
It must be. It must be amazing.
Dream indie project into E3, it feels like a personal achievement in some sort. You can expect a lot of I guess video reviews, articles, and we are going to do a lot of live streaming on Steam and on our channels like Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. So if you want to see some multiplayer battles between the developers, it's going to be interesting. So you can tune in starting from tomorrow.
Yeah, I do, but I don't like the idea of joining in against the developers. I think.
Well, you can team with the developers then.
I think maybe after one game, you'll be asking for a substitute. So I don't know. It's great, and I'm really pleased with you, because I think it's a wonderful game, and I hope that you are overwhelmed with interest and people coming to try to see. So you've got a developer log on Steam, have you?
Well, we are going to start to do some blogging and vlogging more regularly.
I know it's the pain of every developer where you like making it, but then having to sell it is the
Well, we actually love doing it.
Yeah,
we just don't have the time because
we don't have the time.
Like 10 hours a day of the team in order to progress in and meet our deadlines for the game.
Yeah, this is something that we were talking about, that it would be super cool to do one video vlog where we show how we do the trailer, how we do the demo, the E3 booth and all these stuff, so the people can see what it is to prepare for a big event like that. But we didn't have the time to do anything like that. We're working like 12 hours a day, and if we wanted to do if we wanted to do video vlogs of that, we would have to do like 15 hours a day.
You already have an epic trailer. It's like a blockbuster movie. It's huge.
I want to tell you a story about the milk. It was the most pure and effective resource in the universe. It drived our civilization for thousands of years. We were living in peace. But then came the Anunnaki. They were greedy. They wanted all the milk for themselves. And so the war began, and it was devastating. They have crushed our forces. We were doomed. But not all was lost. There was a legend about a device that could produce infinite amounts of milk. Our leaders sent their bravest soldier on a dangerous journey for finding the device. He died. Then they send me.
I'm going to follow eagerly your releases and developments of the game, and I wish you and Moo Lander the very best of luck. I'm slightly disappointed that you're not wearing your t-shirts though, because they're fantastic.
Well,
Oh, let's put it on and show everybody then.
Yeah.
These t-shirts are wonderful.
Yeah.
There we are.
I forgot mine.
Anyway, okay.
You say.
I actually come prepared, but I didn't expect an interview already going. So
I totally forgot about the t-shirt. We should have done this in the beginning of the
Ivor, does not everybody get one? Just the bosses?
No, everyone has one.
I just forgot it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You should put a link to those t-shirts up on the booth in the website, because they're very cool.
These ones are pretty limited.
Okay.
we will do some more merch, and
we will definitely be doing merchandise. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, well, great. It's lovely to meet you. And I can't wait to see all of the things we talked about come to fruition in that game. Such a meld of styles and just absolutely beautiful. It's great. So thank you very much, The Sixth Hammer.
Thank you too.